Hello and welcome. If you've spent the last few decades building a career, really getting in the trenches and solving tough problems, then you are in exactly the right place. This is for you, the experienced pro who's ready to package up all that hard-won wisdom for your next big chapter. But here's the real challenge, isn't it? After a lifetime of learning, your problem isn't that you have too little expertise. It's that you have too much. You could probably teach a dozen different things. The real test is figuring out which one people will actually open their wallets for, and, just as important, which one you'll actually enjoy building. It's that classic paradox of choice.
And make no mistake about it, the opportunity here is absolutely immense. The global e-learning market is on track to hit over $450 billion by 2026. This isn't just some little side project, it's a massive, thriving industry where your deep, real-world experience is exactly what people are craving. So, let's get into it. We'll start by talking about what I call the retirepreneur's paradox. Then I'm going to introduce you to a really simple framework, the three-circle method. From there, we'll dive into finding your sweet spot, look at some common pitfalls to avoid, and then lay out a practical action plan. Think of this as your roadmap to getting crystal clear on your next move.
All right, first up, this paradox. Having way too many options feels overwhelming. I get it. But it's not a personal feeling, not at all. It's just the natural result of a successful career. Your challenge isn't a lack of knowledge, it's a lack of focus. And that's a problem we can absolutely solve. And just look at this data from the Kauffman Foundation. It shows that adults between 55 and 64 are actually starting businesses at higher rates than younger folks. So why is that? Well, it's because your decades of experience and your ability to recognize patterns, that's your superpower. Your age isn't a barrier, it's your single biggest competitive advantage. So how do we channel that advantage? We're going to use a simple but really powerful framework I call the three-circle method. Think of this as your compass. It's designed to guide you from having, a dozen different ideas down to the one that's truly viable for your next chapter.
Okay, so here's the core idea. Your perfect course topic doesn't just live in one of these circles. Nope, it lives right there in the middle, in that sweet spot, that powerful intersection where your deep expertise, proven market demand, and your own personal teaching stamina all overlap. This quote from Harvard Business Review just nails it. It perfectly captures why your experience is so valuable right now. You see, as AI and automation handle all the routine stuff, the world is placing a huge premium on the very things you spent decades developing: wisdom, judgment, and the ability to see the patterns that others miss. That's the real product here. That's what you're selling.
All right, let's break down each of these three circles one by one. This is where the theory gets really practical. We're going to explore the specific filters you can use to really test out each of your potential course ideas. The first circle is your deep expertise. And I'm not talking about a skill you picked up in some weekend workshop. We're talking about knowledge that was forged over at least a decade of solving real-world problems. It's the kind of expertise where you've seen this movie before, you know all the twists, and you definitely know how it ends. Here's a powerful litmus test for you. Just ask yourself this question. Would I confidently coach someone one-on-one right now on this topic for $200 an hour? If the answer is, maybe not, then the expertise probably isn't deep enough to build a whole course around. A course is really just your one-on-one coaching packaged for many. The core value has to be rock solid first. And please, don't underestimate the skills you now find totally routine. The stuff you could do in your sleep, like a CFO's variance analysis or an HR director structuring performance reviews. That is pure gold to someone who's 10 or 20 years behind you in their career. They're not looking for abstract theory, they want your proven, battle-tested playbook. Okay, let's move on to the second circle, market demand. This one is the crucial reality check. Your expertise and passion are essential, of course, but if nobody is out there actively searching for a solution to the problem you solve, you don't have a business, you have an expensive hobby. We need proof that people will actually pay for this. So how do you find that proof without spending a dime? Well, here are three simple tests. First, the Udemy search. Go on there and look for your topic. Competition is actually a good thing. It proves there's demand. Second, the Amazon 3-star review method. Go read the 3-star reviews for the top books in your niche. They will tell you exactly what the market wants but isn't getting. And finally, the price tolerance check. Are people already paying for similar solutions? This confirms the market's ready to invest. Finally, let's talk about the third and often the most overlooked circle, teaching stamina. Look, building, launching, and supporting an online course, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
You have to genuinely enjoy the topic because, trust me, you're going to be living and breathing it for months, if not years. So here's your gut check for this circle. Ask yourself, could I wake up every single morning for the next 6 months and spend 2 hours on this topic? And be honest, if that thought just makes you feel tired, it's the wrong topic. Your enthusiasm, or your lack of it, is going to come through loud and clear to your students. So now that we understand the 3 circles, let's look at what happens when one of them is missing. Seriously, understanding these common failure patterns is one of the best ways to make sure you build your course on solid ground from the very start. Let's look at these danger zones. If you're missing market demand, your expertise and passion just create an expensive hobby. If you're missing teaching stamina, having expertise in a market just leads to total burnout. And if you're missing that deep expertise, well, your passion in a willing market won't save you from major credibility problems. The takeaway here is pretty clear. You absolutely need all 3 circles. Okay, you've used the 3 circles, you've found your topic, now what? Let's shift from theory into action. This section is going to give you a simple, non-technical blueprint to turn your decades of knowledge into a structured, sellable course. You really don't need a teaching degree to create a great course. You just need to follow a proven process, like the ADDIE model. It just stands for analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. It's a logical 5-step process that takes you from understanding your students' needs all the way through to gathering feedback and making your course even better. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, technology. I know a lot of experienced professionals worry about this part, but the reality is so much simpler than you think. Modern all-in-one platforms are designed for people who are not tech wizards. They handle the website, the payments, the video hosting, the whole shebang. Seriously, if you can put together a slide presentation and send an email, you have all the core skills you need. And the financial investment to get started? It's surprisingly manageable. For somewhere between $50 and $150 a month, you can get an all-in-one platform that does everything for you. You're not trying to build a tech company, you're just using a tool to package and sell your expertise. We have covered a lot of ground, from finding your big idea to the practical steps of actually building it. The framework is in place, the path forward is clear, and remember, this isn't just about building a course, it's about designing a purposeful, flexible, and profitable next chapter for yourself. I really want to leave you with this thought. Please, let go of the need for perfection. Your goal isn't to create the world's most flawless, perfect course on day 1. Your goal is to create a valuable course, one that you can deliver with confidence, and one that solves a real problem for real people. That's it. That's the win. So if you're ready to take that next step, I really encourage you to go explore the free Retirepreneur Hub. It is packed with templates and guides we designed specifically for entrepreneurs over 55. And for weekly practical strategies, you might want to subscribe to the newsletter. So I'll end with this question to get you thinking. If you had to focus on teaching just one thing for the next year, one single skill where your income depended on your students getting real, tangible results, what would it be? Your answer, once you filtered it through the 3-circle method, is very likely your first course. Thanks so much for watching.